It's nearly the end of November now, 2014, and I'm in a little corner of my loft reminiscing. This was a certificate you got when you were a teenager if you joined the Hornby Railway Guild, and I obviously did. When was this then? 1952. So I would have been 12 then. And that got me interested in model railways and rail railways really. And I used to get the Meccano magazine every month. This is this one here. And I always remember this photograph because it was so typical of 12-year-olds in those days going to the local model shop and see Hornby. Mostly old gauge, certainly in my case it was always a horn gauge. Didn't ever think of the luxury of an electric train set. Well, that could well have been me there gazing and longingly at some of the other Meccano products. Look at me, I've saved a lot of the ones I used to have. And I've got this little loop. Well, it's hardly a loop, it's a little circle. That's on my Hornby clockwork still that survived for those days. And I don't know, just thought of seeing how model railways have progressed really since the days of Hornby Gauge Clockwork. I don't know if you've seen the video that Alan Plumbs has recently put out where he's actually motorised, if you can call it motorised. He's actually got traffic running on his end gauge layout now, but with a simple little mechanical system rather than expensive Fowler system. And one of his recent videos showed a train coming up to a siding with a load on its wagons and a crane coming out of one side of the goods shed and unloading his what was it, certainly a block of something or other, and he used a crane, again remotely controlled but simply through mechanical means, and unloaded his train with a crane and loaded them onto the back of a waiting lorry. And reminded me what I used to have to do to unload a train, all mechanically. I mean, you have to wind the engine up to run it, let it run, leave it alone control it. It used to go like a rocket first of all, and then as a spring ran down, so it would stop, not where you wanted it, but just where it cared to, the end of the spring. Getting back to this Meccano magazine, it used to be a wonderful thing to get every month, because I used to go straight to the centre of the thing and there'd be details about a new Meccano model you can make, and I had Meccano as well. And it was getting quite complicated there. Look, you could actually make a synchronous electric clock. Certainly got me interested in such things. Latest news about dinky toys, puzzles, articles about steam trains, interesting stuff. Oh, and how to take your car abroad in an aircraft. I actually did that with my scooter in the late 50s. Anyway, what I'm looking for is an article on well, lots of things that would interest a young boy. Christmas trees. But the bit I always went for was this, look, where they showed you a Hornby Gauge clockwork and what you could do to make it look more realistic. I used to drool over this. I mean, I used to think the wagons that they produced in those days were very, very good. They're very, very much like the real thing. But when it came to locomotives post-war, there were only 040s, which were very unlikely. There were no such things as 040 passenger locomotives. And the same with the goods locomotives. They used to have proper wheel arrangements pre-war, but they never got them back into production after the war, sadly. One of my best Christmas presents ever, which I really appreciated when I was 13 probably, was a second locomotive to run on my clockwork layout. It was this LNER 4.0 again. Very crude, but I can still picture myself being shown it at Christmas time. I feel absolutely overwhelmed with pleasure having been given this. And if you look at those little goods wagons there, look, I've put a, and again as a boy I just put in this artificial load, but that's very realistic. It's very much just as they were. And the guard trains weren't that bad either. But sadly the locomotives, again, there were no such locos in real life as this, apart from on industrial railways. Not running on the LNER, I'm sure. But I thought I'd just enjoy the fun of winding up the spring again and seeing it run. So to breathe any life into the locomotive, to hold it securely, make sure the brake is on, and wind it up with a key. That'll do for the minute. And of course, to get it out of the siding, we're talking about mechanical points, none of these electro frogs or actual frogs. And put it into reverse, like so, and off it would go. Don't forget to reset the points, so, and move the lever back, otherwise it could foul the cylinders of the loco. Right, let's see if I can follow this one around in flight. Now it's changed its, the shunters come out and the road drivers got in. Off you go, like a rocket. Oh, faster than I can keep up with. Look at it. And then it would come to a stop when the spring had run down again. But to me that was magic, to see something going under its own power, as it were. Yeah, no. If I ever get a Christmas present like that again, I should be over the moon, as they say. Right, here it is connected to a train. Let's see it run. There it goes. Obviously not so fast once it's got a load to pull. In fact, hardly any performance at all, perhaps I didn't wind it up enough. But if ever you wanted to do any loading or unloading at a crane, it was down to everything being done mechanically. Right, I've rounded up the spring a bit more this time. Off you go. Looks like it hasn't got much pulling power left now in these days. I suppose it's getting old. Old as the man who's trying to drive it. Little spurt. That's about it. I think memories are probably better than real life now. I suppose over the years the spring tension reduces. But like I was saying earlier, if you wanted to use a crane to unload a wagon, you've got a little rotary arm here. Let's bring over this side of the track. It's only make-believe after all. If you wanted to operate a crane, you've got a little worm, a handle here. You would turn it over the wagon. In fact, I don't remember this one. Can I get high enough? I don't think, no, this won't go high enough to pick this one up, will it? Let's just see. There's a handle here to wind up that one. Yes, perhaps so. And you could loop the little chain there. I think in these days, these were actually what you did to move house. You used the train, and these were wooden. Oops! Oh, that the cord's just broken. Looks. Oh dear. Yes, it's definitely past its sell-by date. But anyway, in theory, if the string hadn't broken, you could lift that off with the crane and drop it manually on the back of a Dinky Super Toys lorry, which was about the right scale. But obviously I'm going to have to spend some time rethreading the string on this one and making sure that these survive for a bit longer. Anyway, pleasant memories. Who knows what Father Christmas might bring this year.